Is it fit down in that thing? Got to go in there cruise. Good. Got it, man. Turn around, you don't panic yet. Let him take the front. Somewhere over on that side.
That's tough. We've stopped there.
All right, we're rolling.
Okay.
We're rolling.
Okay, can you tell us what your name is and what unit you're with and where you're from?
Okay. I'm Rebecca Burney. I'm captain with the 109th Evac Hospital out of Birmingham with the detachment in Huntsville.
Okay.
Okay?
Great. And what does the Evac Hospital do? What's your job in Operation Desert Storm? What has been your job?
Okay. The 109th was tasked with setting up a hospital. We set up a 360-bed, what in the States would be like a general hospital. We provided probably the optimum care in the theater during Operation Desert Storm. We're not a MASH hospital. We can't move. We're not as mobile as a MASH hospital once we set up because of our size. We're a large hospital with a lot of different specialties. As far as doctors, we don't have just surgeons. Okay?
Tell us a little bit about
Okay. All right, we're rolling.
Okay.
And could you come this way a little bit so he looks more a little bit? There you go, right there. Okay.
You may look at the camera.
No, look at him.
The camera's not here. Look up. Tell us what your name is, what you do.
I'm First Lieutenant Stephen Gamble. I'm a registered nurse at the Evac Hospital, working the EMT section. Are you emergency Evac Hospital?
Hold it.
Okay. When you talk to me, I'm not really good with it. I'm not good.
And step forward just a tad. There you go. All right, let me check foci here.
What you doing? Sign an autograph?
All right, we're ready. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, what's your name and what unit you with and where you're from?
My name is Stephen C. Gamble, First Lieutenant from Birmingham, Alabama, 109th Evac Hospital. I work in the EMT section, which is basically the emergency room of the Evac Hospital system.
Okay, move this way a little bit. All right. There you go, a little bit more. There you go, right there. All right.
Sandbag.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm an excellent
Yeah,
sandbagger.
excellent. Okay, go ahead. Start off there.
What's the next question?
Okay, where you from? My hometown is.
My hometown is Birmingham, Alabama. I live in a small subdivision, Center Point.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what your job is in your section, what you do, and how that related in the war, what y'all did.
My job is emergency room nurse in the evac system. We saw approximately 250, 300 patients. About 90% of them were enemy prisoners of war, and they came in with all types of injuries, both battle injuries and medical injuries. The Americans that we saw, most of them were auto accidents, medical illnesses and stuff. Very, very few battle injuries that we did see.
Tell us the story about the guys, for instance, about the Americans, the guy who got run over with the end.
Yeah, we got a group of 4 Americans in, and they were ran over by a 5-ton and a Humvee. Evidently, they fell asleep on the ground and covered up with their shelter hats, and the truck driver couldn't see them being in blacklight situation or a blackout situation and got ran over. They came in with leg fractures, right and left side. One guy had his Kevlar smushed with a 5-ton, ran over it, but they all did very well, and
All made it through.
all made it through.
Okay. Okay, can you tell us your name and what unit you're in, where you're from?
My name is Captain William Shane Lee. I'm a family practitioner of the 109th Evac out of Birmingham. I currently live in Marion, Alabama.
Okay. I understand you had a little problem in Marion that you were called to. Can you talk about that a little?
Well, I just settled in Marion. I'd opened a solo practice there. I was the only full-time physician practicing in the county. I'd been in practice about 5 months, so it was a little bit difficult when the call came, both financially and the fact that I would be leaving my practice in essentially empty hands.
The town wanted you to stay.
The town felt very strongly for me to stay. They've had a lot of trouble over the last few years economically with the farm crunch, businesses moving out, a lot of the productive citizens moving out. And they're a little bit jump shy, and I just got in there and stepped up, and the town had accepted me, and about the time they accepted me, I was mobilized. So they took it hard. They
Secretary of the Army even?
Right. The town had came to me and asked if it'd be all right with them to use political pull to see if they could get me to stay. I had mixed emotions about that, but I felt if I refused to let them do that, they would think I was abandoning them. So I went ahead and let them go about it. I didn't think it would get very far, but while I was at Benning, I got a letter from the Assistant Secretary of the Army wanting to know what my true feelings were on the subject. And after a long discussion with my wife, we decided just to try to drop it as quietly as we could.
And since you left, your practice suffers. Tell me about that.
Yes, sir. We're still open. I was lucky enough to line up some residents from the Selma Family Practice Program to come up and run it 2 to 3 days a week. It's not making any money. In fact, we lost quite a bit of money, but we've been able to keep my staff together, keep the lights on, and at least keep a nucleus of the more reliable patients together. So hopefully I'll have something to go back to when it's all over with.
Hey, now tell us, despite all the problems, are you still glad you came?
Yes, sir. I wouldn't have changed a thing. I didn't function as a physician that much outside of sick call. The ground war was short, but the time that we were up and operational, I felt like I contributed, and I enjoyed it, and it was an extremely valuable experience to me, and I wouldn't have traded it for anything, even the money that I've lost because of being over here. I am about ready to go home. My wife's 7 months pregnant. I'd sort of like to see what she looks like.
Okay. How's that? Okay.
The doctor you never saw before, and how you had to deal with it. Okay, we're rolling, and
All right. As far as the type of injuries we saw while we were operational during the ground war, we saw basically 2 categories. In the initial phases of the ground war, there were no forward treatment elements, so we were getting what we call raw casualties from the field, primarily shrapnel injuries and results of aircraft or vehicle accidents, anything from guys getting ran over to chopper crashes to multiple shrapnel wounds from grenades, rockets, etc. As war progressed and had forward treatment elements come up, such as mashes and caches, we were receiving primarily patients who had been stabilized and then flown back to our location, which was near the Iraqi border. I'd never seen anything like a shrapnel wound before, and it was quite shocking at first. The amount of tissue damage involved, the distribution of the wounds. I'd never dealt with it. I guess the closest thing to it at home would have been a real bad auto accident. It was also a little bit difficult seeing our guys. Luckily, we didn't see too many of our guys. I'd say 70% of the folks we treated during the ground phase were Iraqi EPW.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, why don't you turn a little towards me? There you go. Okay.